Otis Sistrunk, Cardiff, California. Well, I was living at home, and on and off, I should say, and I went to my mom's house. I wasn't living home. I went to my mom's house to do something. I had got a job and moved somewhere. I forget where. But anyway, I walked into the garage where I do ding repair at her house, our house, and she came out there and gave me the letter telling me I got drafted. So then I went and did everything I could to stay out of the draft, and that worked for a little while. But then I finally got drafted in July, and then you go to basic training and all this kind of stuff. And so in basic training, I figured the best thing for me to do is not shoot the targets down, so I won't go into infantry. They'll put me somewhere else, and so that was my plan. So I stuck with that, and the very last day they have this thing called we're going to recycle you, make you go through basic training again. Basic training is pretty tough. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to shoot the targets down the very last day. All my paperwork is probably done, so I don't have to worry. So I shot the targets down. Next day I get my paperwork, and off to Missouri I go to be what they call a combat engineer. So I go there and become a minesweeper and all kinds of different things. And then you wait to see where you're going after that. That was like December in Missouri. I get my paperwork for Vietnam. So I have so many days of leave before I have to go. I think 30 days. I was 19. Just like, mostly, what am I going to do over there? I don't know anything. I'm 19 years old. All I know is what I've learned in school, and learned how to surf, learned how to skateboard, and drive a car, work on a car, all that kind of stuff. That's all I know. I think that's might be typical of a 19-year-old back then. Different now. But anyway, so I go back home from Missouri to California, see my parents. I tell them, where I'm going and all that kind of stuff. And so off I go, and I have to go to Oakland and fly from Oakland to I don't know if it was Hawaii, Philippines, and then Vietnam, something like that. But all this stuff's going through your mind, and not too scared. I remember getting nervous after I left the Philippines on the plane to Vietnam when they said less than 2 hours we'll be landing in Vietnam, and named the airport or whatever it was. I started getting kind of nervous then. And then you're in this holding area, camp, and you're there until they decide where you're going to go. And so I went to this company called 1st Infantry Division, and that's what happened. As soon as I got there, they just told me, okay, you're going out to you're going on the helicopter tomorrow morning or that. Okay, so one thing back to the airplane. When I was, like I told you earlier, there was, one of the things I was doing was surfing. So when I was on the plane, guess what the movie was? You'll never guess, so I'll have to tell you. It was Ride the Wild Surf. That's the movie I seen on the plane going to Vietnam. So I thought that was pretty classic when I tell people about that. So I'm a little nervous after I left the Philippines because I'm going to be in Vietnam in just a couple hours or less. And so I landed in Vietnam, and you're in this camp, and so people are coming in, people are leaving. And so I'm looking at the people leaving, and I see injured people leaving, and I'm looking to see what kind of badge they have on their going, because I know I don't want to go to that company, I don't want to go to that company, because I see all these people that are hurt, and there was 2 bad ones. Anyway, I got one of them. So and you get in this, they take you. We were there for a few days. So I think I was there in that landing thing for holding camp for like 3 days. I picked 2 that I didn't want to go to. Yeah, one was first air cab, and the other one was the big red one. And so I ended up getting picked to go to the big red one. They picked me, or they called my name, I should say, and I went to where the people that called my name, and we get in this truck, armored vehicle, caliber machine gun on it and stuff, and you just get in the back of this thing, and they take you off down the road, this dirt road to wherever this camp was, and take you there. And then after I was there, somebody there tells you what to do. So I wasn't there very long, maybe 2 days or something like that, and then I had to go get on a helicopter and off to the field I went, and the name of the company I went to was called Dracula. I go, oh yeah, bitchin', Dracula, just what I want to go to, some scary, tough company, So anyway, I go there. I'm going to be a sweep. I'm going to be a minesweeper and sweep the roads. So I get off the helicopter, and it's like in the evening, and so I jump off the helicopter. That's about 3 feet off the ground, something like that. That's how you did it over there. And so I go to this officer, or I think he was, or something, and I tell him, I'm from so-and-so, and I'm a minesweeper. Where's the minesweeping crew? Yeah, I think he was an officer. He says, okay, first you're going over here, and you're going to be on KP. So I don't have anything. I'm just there, right? I still have a white T-shirt on. I haven't got all the green stuff yet. Just the pants and boots and everything. And so I go over to KP, and so I'm washing dishes with these other two guys, and we're being attacked, and I don't even know it. So I'm standing there, and I'm standing there by myself after a while, and I notice this tent behind me. I notice bullet holes going through the tent. I'm looking in the bushes, and we're in the jungle, right? I'm looking in the jungle, and I see these red flashes coming out of the jungle, and I'm seeing these things going there, and I go, these guys are shooting at me. So on the ground I went. I don't know where anybody is. Everybody's shooting now, doing everything. We're full on attack. So I'm crawling on the ground, and I don't know where to go. I see a dump truck, a big steel iron dump truck, right? I get in the back of the dump truck. I don't move. I stay there all night. Next morning I get up. I go find some minesweepers, and they go, yeah, okay, that's us. And so I stayed in the dump truck, went there all night long, and and battle was all night. And so the next day I got out, and maybe maybe I had a rifle, and I left it at the mess tent where I was doing KP. And so I think I went back and got that. And after I found the minesweeping guys, they're all cool guys, and so you go out in a team, right? And so anyway, so I went over, got my rifle, came back and hung with those guys, and then every morning we had to go out and minesweep the roads. You always seen some dead people and injured people everywhere you went, pretty much. I can't visualize that in my eyes right now or my mind. I visualize them all over the place, but I don't know how to pick which spot I seen everybody in, that I seen people dead, wounded and stuff. So I couldn't tell you for sure, but I know there was, because we had these helicopters coming in called dust-offs, taking people all the time. Surfing and or thinking about surfing wasn't on my mind most of the time when you're in combat. When you're not in combat, when you're not in the foxhole and you're not shooting in the bushes or you're not minesweeping, I didn't think of surfing. But when I wasn't doing that stuff, I'm sitting around. My friends were surfers that I met over there. I don't remember knowing anybody in any places I went, on the plane, anywhere, in the camps, until I got to Vietnam. I made friends with other surfers, and they called me Surfer Joe. I never many real friends, surfers or anything like that, until I was in Vietnam. The guy in the same company with me lived in Alhambra. His name was Greg, and we became really good friends. He was a good surfer, and we'd always have competition saying who could do what the best. We had some surfer magazines from somewhere. We had all that stuff there, and he was a pretty good artist. He drew some stuff on a board, and It said Surfing Sistrunk or Surfer Joe or something like that. And anyway, we became friends. I think I left before him, or he left before I did, and I went and seen him in L.A. where he lived, and then we lived together in Huntington Beach later on. Just him and a couple of other guys that hung around with us, Surfer Joe, just because that's what we talked about, surfing, and that's what else you going to talk about? We talk about girls and surfing, and on our helmets we had the day we leave. With a felt pin on our helmet called retro date. We have the date we're going home. Thinking about surfing in any kind of bad condition like that, especially war, will seem like it helped me and helped all my friends there. Take your mind off the bad stuff, takes your mind off being scared, and makes you feel closer to home. Makes you, even though you're a long ways away, makes you feel closer to it mentally, and because that's all we did, all we thought about. Like I said earlier, was that when we didn't have to go sweep a road or weren't under attack or stuff like that. So, it did one thing. I know I'm an anti-war person now, and it definitely did that. I'm sure it did other things. But that's one thing I can say for sure. December '66 on a prop plane, and this is a shirt. I bought this shirt in Hawaii because I was a surfer, and here's the shirt. I kept it just for this day. Here's one of the letters that we took a photo of earlier that I found on the road when I was minesweeping the road for mines, and anyway, this little letter's asking us in a nice way to go home. They don't want to have any more war over here in South Vietnam.